to get into our final matchup of the night. And look, a night it has certainly been. There's been some performances that have been left to be desired, but 7-4, 7-5, 7-4.
They've been good games.
Look, it's been the most games I've seen. You know what I mean? Like it's been the most, the absolute most, Enox.
Yeah, and look, honestly, when we kind of discussed the match for Daystar and Knock Knock, it was very much all of the talent crew was basically, riding that Daystar train. They came through. Awesome. But I did give that little caveat that Knock Knocks is certainly a team that you can't go into it underestimating. And I think they showed enough, at least in this match. Almost knocked over my drink. But in this particular game, I thought they were in it really until the end, even though it's a 7-4 scoreline, right? You're not that far off a 7-5 loss, for instance. So I think they can hold their heads high. Certainly a better performance than the game against Elevate yesterday. And obviously for Daystar, great for them to be able to get a win as well. The unfortunate nature of this, though, it does now confine Knock Knock to probably being one of those two bottom teams. So they've got a big stretch of games coming up where they need to get themselves out of that bottom two moving forward. That's the goal moving forward for them. Obviously for Daystar, that certainly helps their cause of getting into the playoffs later on, but a big game coming up. And I think honestly now for Direwolves and Hasib Warriors, this could actually be a game that goes all the way to the distance. 15 rounds, calling it now, Rob.
Wow, that's how many times are we going to have to jump in and out, do you think?
I'm going to go with 3 rehosts.
Hey, what's the over-under, Michael? What's the over-under? Which one are you taking?
I'm going to say 0. That's what I want.
Yeah, that's what we're all hoping for. But Direwolves obviously coming into this. We heard from the roster yesterday in respects to, I'm going to lean into the Joe conversation right now. Guz, he's been tremendous in the opening play day. Can he back that up, though?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I'm sort of framing Direwolves at the moment to be in a little bit of a rebuild phase. I wasn't totally convinced what we saw last night was going to be enough to enter the sort of that like top 3 discussion that I feel like we keep having. However, I guess a lot of these teams are going to continue to progress, hopefully, maybe some regress as the stage goes on. So Direwolves will be looking to ride that wave. They have a lot of experience on this roster, and it's good to see the likes of Pika, for example, perform well day one. Souffle not all that far behind. Joe, as you've touched on briefly as well, a huge opening day as well for him. So I think Direwolves have a lot going for them, maybe not quite enough to put them in line with rebuilds like Elevate, for instance. However, I'm still convinced in this matchup they have more than enough depth to win this one out.
Jake, 4 out of their 7 rounds yesterday were won in 1vx's.
Oh, mate, how good was it?
I mean, it's one of those games that you just sit back and you've got to enjoy, right? Sometimes you get masterclasses, sometimes you get fumbles, but, well, Direwolves put on a little bit of a display. But look, in all fairness, speaking of displays, we saw a bit from Hasib yesterday. We saw the first 4 opening rounds go their way against, really just the number 1 team in this region, Bleed. They really took them to the axe, but unfortunately, they just couldn't get much more done.
Yeah, now we were fortunate, and I say we as in me and Guz, just so people don't get confused between me and you, Rob, when I say we. Now, this was a game in which everyone wrote off. I actually will bring attention that there was actually quite a few upset people regarding the desk's comments about Hasib Warriors going into that game. Not so much directly about them, but more so the perceived matchup against Bleed. That Bleed were very much this massive juggernaut, and Hasib had no chance.
Yep.
Then they come out of the gates and they win 4 rounds in a row, and they looked good doing it as well.
Absolutely.
They were sensational. They won all their entries. They were overwhelming Bleed for all intents and purposes. They made Bleed look really, really bad. So much so they enforced a tactical timeout. The unfortunate thing is that's where it all ended. They won their 4 rounds. Everything was peachy. Everything was great. They couldn't put a foot wrong, and then they lost 7 in a row. So what can Hasib do that little bit better? I think it's on-site execution. I think that's kind of what let them down. That final piece of the hurdle was very much, once they got to site, they did start to crumble. But getting there was fine. Map control and getting themselves into the building, good entry kills, having numbers, roaming, also good team coordination. These guys were great. I thought Zdux really led from the front on a lot of those attacking rounds. I know the numbers aren't the best necessarily for him. Doctor was sensational. But I actually think this is a roster that can actually win this game. So much so, I tipped them. At the start of tonight, I'm the only one that went Hasib Warriors over Direwolves. Yep. I genuinely believe they play at their best tonight. They can win this game. Hence why I just backed them in. I saw enough yesterday because they were the ones that were demolishing Bleed. Now, they obviously ended up losing that game, but I'm hoping, Rob, they've taken some learnings.
And just to clarify, you think that they can stand up against Direwolves, but they need to be at their best? Is that what we're saying? Yeah, cool.
They're not going to win this game if they're going to obviously play worse than yesterday or play average. They are very much going to need to play like they played those first 4 rounds. If they play like those first 4 rounds and they can do that for longer periods, yes, they can 100% win this game.
Yeah, well, we're all excited for that one.
And look at that, instant respect as well. Direwolves insta-banned the border after what we saw from Hasib Warriors yesterday. So I love that immediately. It's actually Direwolves showing that respect for Warriors. And we go to Chalet, though, which I actually don't mind, ultimately, for Warriors, too. Again, that kind of like open-style map. I think it'll be good for their team coordination. Yep. But I obviously kind of look at the last 2 maps. I really almost the last 3 maps, Consulate, Bank, Chalet. I think both teams actually are going to feel very happy with this map choice because they're all quite similar, a little attacking in nature.
Yeah, guys, we go back to Chalet for Direwolves. I mean, who do you think's won this process?
I want to say Direwolves quite comprehensively, actually, because Direwolves not only played Chalet last week, but the options available as well are decent picks for them. And did I say last week?
Yeah.
Sorry, yesterday, of course. Yeah,
That's
against the old Daystar, and they look pretty comfortable on that map. So yes, respect shown, border. I think the way in which the latter phase of the map veto process did play out, they left them with a couple of different options available, and maps where I'd expect them to do well. So Chalet, probably just tilts the discussion more in favor of Direwolves for me.
Interesting, because I was just looking at the map veto process as well for Hasib Warriors from yesterday's game against Bleed. Banned out Oregon, banned out Skyscraper. They've done that again tonight, right? So they've clearly got their insta-bans, if you will. What's interesting about those 2 maps in particular is, what do you think of those 2? Well, defense in nature, right? All about this kind of defensive-sided siege. So I think, again, if I'm Hasib Warriors internally, I'm thinking I want to go to these more aggressive, open kind of playing maps. And so therefore, I don't think they're going to be too dismayed with this. They did ban out Chalet yesterday, but it was one of their later bans along with then Consulate after that. And again, look at the 2 out of the last 3 are Chalet, Consulate. The border got taken away from them. That's fine. I don't think they would have cared that much about Labs or Clubhouse, for instance. And so I don't necessarily disagree with guys. I think Direwolves themselves will also be happy with this. But I do think that Hasib Warriors will back themselves in on this map. Don't be surprised if they get off to a good start.
Well, it's an exciting prospect because you've got, really the better team out of the 2 South Asian teams. I guess, that's at the moment, that's relative to what we've seen so far. And they go up against a team that we really are kind of putting in that 4th to 5th spot, guys. Is there a possibility that Hasib can actually bring this this firepower that we saw against Bleed? Can we see them replicate that on a map like Chalet?
Yeah, most certainly. I wouldn't be too surprised if we do see that. It comes back, though, to whether or not they can sustain that over the course of an entire match, which is quite lengthy. And if their progress or if their momentum gets stalled out, which we saw against that Bleed game, can we see that fight back? That can they have find the dog in them? Can they bring that out, unleash it into the server? I think they'll be more competitive, no doubt. I'm not going into this thinking it's going to be near as one-sided as I thought the Bleed game was going to be. However, again, Direwolves with that experience, with the Southeast Asia qualities, they're going their way. They should be winning this in something like a 7-4. I could see maybe a World 7-5. If we see the absolute best of Hasib Warriors, maybe even OT. But I would be pretty shocked.
Keep going.
I would be, but I would be shocked if Hasib Warriors walk away with more than 1 point tonight.
But then at their absolute peak, they could beat them. You
if
just
they have
never
a live
know,
game,
right?
I mean, Direwolves will probably be in trouble. But
there we go.
You know what?
It's only played A2.
If they had a live game, they might beat Direwolves. If you had a live game, would you even be in the server?
No. I mean, there's a reason I decided to cast Rob. I'm not very good at the game.
Oh, I never touched it. That's for damn sure. I'm not going within a 10-mile radius of competitive play. I'll leave that to the professionals, as we do, of course. Leave the game in the professional hands of Devin Mandy.
Thank you very much, Robert and the guys on the desk. Yeah, Mandy, this is our last game of the night, and it is another SCA versus South Asia banger. I'm not sure whether South Asia is going to have any more luck here with Hasib's Warriors against Direwolves, as we saw from Knock Knock against Daystar.
Well, look, Knock Knock, they were fairly competitive against Daystar. I'll give them that. Like 7-4, it's not terrible. They did alright on the defense. Steve Zora has taken on Direwolves. Now, I feel like that's a bit of a different story, right? Direwolves, they've been around the block a few times. They've got the experience, a lot more experience than Daystar have got. Whereas the Hasib Warriors, they're still struggling a bit to make an impact.
It's true. Now, if there's anything that we can take away for Hasib's Warriors here, is that they are a pretty good Chalet team. They did beat Knock Knock on this map in the qualifier in a pretty convincing 7-3. And in contrast, when Direwolves last played Knock Knock on this map, it was also in the qualifiers, and they won, but it was only an 8-6. So, yeah, I don't know where that puts us. Direwolves obviously have the more recent form, playing just yesterday against Daystar, winning 7-4. So, I'd like to give the benefit of the doubt over to Direwolves, but hey, let's see if Hasib's Warriors are ready to cook.
Alright, here we go. Banface is gonna go by us. Bravo Ban has been really popular, Dev, in this region.
Yeah.
Don't completely know the reason why it's specifically Bravo. In most games, maybe they've just realized that it's so good that it just can't be there. But isn't attacking already pretty hard as it is? You really want to be taking out Bravo? I don't know.
It is. I mean, it does leave other ingredients in. You know, Thatcher, for example, Maverick. So any hard breach should be pretty straight up, but of course hard breach is not everything on Chalet. Yeah, I do wonder how much they're going to play into these bans, like particularly that Bravo. We talked about it on Skyscraper. You play the Maestro, you play, we're actually already seeing it, even the Valkyrie, right? Useful, the Bravo is useful against that. What's the other one that we were talking about? It was Fenrir, wasn't it? Which has been banned out, so...
Yes.
Yeah. I guess it's really, firstly, up to Hasib's Warriors to try and counter the... or lean into the Bravo ban, and I think they've already done so by bringing the double intel operators.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that as well. Maestro and Valkyrie in tandem is a lot of info for Hasib Warriors. I'm excited to see how they're going to play off the back of that. Not just that, but even then the combination of the castle and his army is going to make the inside of this map very much a fortress to get into. So it should be pretty challenging for Direwolves to make their way in on through the map and then navigate its interior. And even then, chances are they've got eyes on them the entire time. That being said, though, Dev, there is IQ for Seal, who is the perfect operator to try and deal with these sneaky Valkyrie cameras and the Maestros as well once you hit the bomb site.
It's very true, but the thing that people often forget about IQ is like, yeah, she's a soft counter. She's not really a hard counter because you don't just have to see them, you also have to destroy them. And for some of the Valkyrie cameras, perhaps just finding them using IQ will be enough. Like the one that we saw placed in lobby before should have already been spotted by Seal just based on where he is and the fact he's using a scanner right now. But that doesn't mean that they... Oh, wait. What the hell is happening? Cdux has gone for a runner and been punished for it. Joe Gore's happy about that one. He actually finishes him off with the secondary after running out of bullets with the R4C. But all right, well, Hasib's Warriors are setting the pace. Unfortunately, it's not quite working for them yet.
Yeah, look, fair enough. Try to do something aggressive off the back of, you know, catching them off guard, and it almost does for Joe, but he's proven to us just yesterday that he is in fact quite a sharp shot, not the person you want to be running out against. Here's Pika facing a keeper barricade inside a bathroom, but that will be destroyed fairly easily. That is on the window. I wonder if he's seen the Valkyrie camera directly behind him or not. Nevertheless, he will take out the default one regardless. Taha is going to claim the one back onto Pika to even on the man count.
Why are you swinging that? He's got a shotgun, he's right there, and he's just got ya! Delarx getting a little bit too egregious on that position, and Doctor is afforded an opportunity to bring the numbers back into his team's favor. 4v3 for Hasib's Warriors, and Doctor in particular had a phenomenal game yesterday. You're trying to flash out a Warden with a shotgun. It's not going to work so well. I mean, he can just tank. Oh no, the timing! He disabled his gadget for some reason. I guess it doesn't matter because the push was ill-timed by Direwolves. Another one goes through. It misses again. He's just going to swing this at some point. Souffle's found Dini, and that does mean that Direwolves have brought things back. Taha's also taken on down, so Seal can finally put the nail in the coffin here for Doctor, but not if he rounds the corner first. Oh, no. A misplaced shotgun blast leaves it all on Hasib, the namesake of his team. In a 1v3, we'll need to isolate some gunfights. Ideally, try and use his utility, his gadgets, his evil eyes to his advantage. Is the time slowly ticking away for Direwolves?
Alright, I'm not going to lie, Dev. I didn't even realize that top floor wasn't the bomb site there for a moment. They still need to, after going through all of that, now go and convert into the ground floor. Now, that being said, it is 1v3. There's not a lot of time, though, and Hasib does have the Elder in hand. It is the perfect gun to do it.
Yeah, but nobody on Direwolves has actually gone above. Guess it doesn't matter, because Seal is going to finish it off with a nice little wallbang. Well played from Direwolves. Again, scrappy rounds, but good result at the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, solid round there for Direwolves. Yeah, scrappy, I feel like, is the name of the game between Direwolves and any team, it seems like. They are willing to throw bodies at the problem, but big round there for Seal. He's able to clean up the top floor pretty handily, 2 to his name, and then the final one onto Hasib as well. Sometimes all you gotta do is shoot them. Don't overthink too much, and like honestly, I don't want to overthink that round too much, or I wouldn't overanalyze. They got to the top floor, they sent in some flashbangs, found the right timing somehow on this Warden with a slightly misplaced shotgun, and the round was over.
Yeah, this was the funny moment, right? Like, that was a very telling moment. If Seal had died there, very different result on the rounds.
Well done.
And yeah, I don't want to overthink it, Mandy, but I already am. And for me, the green flag I'm seeing from Direwolves is that they are bringing some util to clear problems, and they're using that util. The red flags are the fact that the flashes were mistimed with the peaks, and also it's a warden, so flashes maybe not the right ingredient. And the second one is like no one's staying above on the hatch to try and deny kitchen pressure when you're trying to 3v1 there. But I digress. Maybe it doesn't matter in the end. An attack is an attack, a win is a win, and Direwolves have started strong.
No, I mean, yeah, I agree with that. I think there are certainly some teething issues within that round, but nevertheless, a win is a win. You gotta take those ones, right? Anyway, we're gonna go over to Borrowing Games instead for Sea Warriors. They are not willing to repeat Dining in Kitchen as they did previously. It seems like Direwolves are gonna look to sweep them out as well. They've brought along the double roam clearing operators of Dokkaebi and Lion to aid their cause.
Good operators to engage that early pressure. The Lion, the Doke, even the Grim to some degree. And, of course, finding an early pick is everything on a map like Chalet where you can really zone out defenders. We saw it last round where Hasib Warriors got a little bit too aggressive. Okay, here comes Seal. He's so sharp, this guy. And he does know where this one player is. Taha's now dropped downstairs and found a kill on the Felark. So the player that was meant to be just watching flanks ends up losing his life. And Taha will be having a laugh about that. He's been worth his weight in gold.
Solid fall off there for Taha. He had his route to get his way on out. He knew the entries were coming, and he manages to get one away for his troubles as well. Seal now, knowing that there was a player here just a few seconds ago, has now vacated Dining and down the hatch. Taha will probably hold on to that for a little bit longer, right? If he can sit there in that position, he can pose a threat for a flank a little bit later on. He can come up through lobby. In that position, he's got a lot of options come later on in the round. But for Direwolves, they've got other things to think about right now. They've got half of the top floor control, but not all the way into library. Now they need to start sinking some of this utility on the Azami setup in the top floor. They can actually just shoot this Cuba barricade. It's a bit dangerous, but they can. It is Dokkaebi with the DMR.
You really would think that with this many DMRs in the lineup, like obviously Lion as well, it would be pretty easy. I'm a little surprised that Seal is so insistent on using his nades, because the nades would have been nicer to try and clear out this position. Oh, hang on a sec!
Oh.
Souffle doesn't even need to try and clear the key, but he'll use it to his advantage. Now the defense is left scrambling. Dini is now trapped in the dark corner, looking to make his way down, but he does expose himself to Souffle. Seal has been taken down and now finished off as well. So at least something back for Hasib's Warriors. 30 seconds to play.
Well, I guess that's the disadvantage of having a keeper barricade there instead of just a shield, right? You don't have the little slits that you can see them through, so the attackers just walk straight up. And now they're having a look at the bomb side as well. Z-Dux is really low. It's really only up to Taha here to make the difference.
But Pika's not checking the run angle. He's going to walk straight into him. Taha has found one, and that does make it a 1v1. Good flash there, but oh, this is perfect. The Solus is the perfect operator for this. The pre-fire around the corner nets Taha the clutch. A massive 1v2. A little bit close for comfort, but it does get Hasib's Warriors into the game.
Great round from Taha. 3 in the round, I believe it was, at the end there, cleaning a house as they tried to go in for the execute. Coming up through the basement stairs, they didn't quite expect him taking the engagement into the hallway and then finding a cheeky reposition behind the Kiva barricade that we spoke of oh so often in that last round. Solid round for Hasib Warriors.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as
It's like a shame that Hasib Warriors are like it's coming down to clutches. Because I don't know, like again, really back and forth round. Like Direwolves didn't seem to have like the positions to deal with a lot of the util, and then they brute forced it, which seems to be the Direwolves MO. Like a team, as you said, not afraid to just send it, right? Which has been catching Hasib's Warriors off guard, but yeah, in the end, just the ability to really buckle in the clutch moments. It goes a long way for Hasib's Warriors. I'm not sure whether it was just like a lack of time management at the end for Direwolves meant that it was quite challenging for them to muster up the resources to like drone out these final players, or maybe just a bit of desync, but Hasib's Warriors done a great job of capitalizing.
Hasib himself looking for a spawn peek out onto these attackers on the other side. No one is there to meet him. Idiot will fall off it. That's alright. Change bomb sites once again. Go on.
It is very ambitious to spawn peak with his army. The one operator that has the most value like later in the round.
Yes, compounding value. I would have to agree with you. Well, that's nice, using the drill of the Ash Charge to take down the mirror early on off the back of Seal's teammate. Opening up the barricade does mean that a lot of that pressure coming from down inside of dining has been taken away now, at least a little more blinded for the defense. Joe as well finding a great entry into Taha all the way down in the basement, supported by his teammate of Seal, and looking to try and take as much map control as they can.
I do quite like this from Direwolves. Really looking to hunt down any roamers and take this map control. Now, admittedly, the map control is very far from the bomb site, which is all the way upstairs in Master, and yet they're clearing the basement. But netting a numbers advantage can lead to great things on this map. You can flood, overwhelm, look for your 5v4s, your 3v2s, your 2v1s, and capitalize. And so I think the next point of contention is to target Zdux, who's roaming down here, actually peeking quite aggressively into West Main. Just be careful not to lose his life. He does a lick of damage and is continuing to run away. It looks like he's just going to play to drop down the hatch.
You're exactly right about that. Chalet is one of those maps where, oh gosh, that's a scary angle for Zdux. The Deimos scan is going to go onto him as well, so they are going to see his full off route too. But I think you said it exactly right. Chalet is one of those maps where it's small enough that you can really take as much real estate as you can and then go from there and see what you can get. Souffle now tracking that roamer that has fallen off, is isolated on his own, is going to take that scan off him now, and Hasib instead is going to turn his attention in towards Solar, where the rest of the attack is coming from. Seal finding a great entry up the Solar stairs, just as we're speaking of, will now find the next point of contact against Hasib.
Hasib's really got to win this. He does get one, but he is traded. Not too shabby considering that elsewhere Zdux has found another pick. I believe that was the player on the double window, perhaps. He's just got it from down below. He still has a C4. Oh, big jump in from Seal, though. Great info and great read. And now Denny is being tracked by Souffle, who's looking to push for the kill. Sees the player for a brief moment. Plant being forced down. And no, you don't want to do that when you're Deimos. It enables the wall bang. The ping comes through. And now Din has made this a 1v1. Seal has been big. 6 kills to just 1 death so far, and he's looking for this plant, but ran in the corner. Din's going to have it dead to rights. Could it be 2 1v2 clutches in a row for Hasib? It is indeed a massive moment now for the defense, who have basically stolen 2 rounds in a row.
Oh man, you absolutely called it there on the Deimos. The ping goes both ways, and it seems like one of the players on Direwolves have just forgotten about that small, tiny detail, costing them getting the plant down, and then eventually costing them a round as well. Din too sharp, good with the rotation. Seal not quite able to find the plant spot that was safe from the line of sight of Din. Really well played there in the 1 versus 2.
Oh, wow. Direwolves really need to be careful, because too many of these rounds they're letting slip in those dire moments. It's funny, man, because the start of the round seems pretty solid from them. Maybe not every time, but in that round in particular, right? Great roam hunt, great job isolating these players, taking map control. It's just those late rounds, especially when there are a couple of players down, like even if it's a 2v1, a 3v2, numbers are tight, they do quite struggle to make this work in those late round moments.
Yeah, absolutely. Direwolves struggling very much in the late game. We saw
10
them
seconds
do
to
that
go.
same thing yesterday, right, Def? We commented so many times how many rounds in that
5 seconds
Direwolves game ended in clutches, in 1vx's. I think it was like 4 or 5
Attackers are
rounds or
moving to
something
defuse
like
the
that.
bomb.
I think it just goes to show that, yeah, Direwolves, while they're really good at this early game, by the time it does hit the late game, it can get a bit scary.
Yeah, very much. Oh, okay. The entire Hasib's Warriors has now backed out, so it looks like we're going to rehost this one. Haven't really got much information about that round, to be honest. Like, it was just a bit of a setup. But, yeah, I don't know. Let's talk holistically about this game so far, Mandy. I don't know, I'm 2-1 up for Hasib's Warriors, both of them clutches. If I'm going to be pretty brutally honest, I was expecting more out of Direwolves. I think that...
Likewise.
Yeah, just fumbling the bag a little bit there.
Yep, I would have to agree with you as well. I think, yeah, Direwolves, they just look a bit messy, I think, in terms of what they're trying to achieve. Every attack round, it's felt like they have like a plan initially to get into the building, but then by the time it hits, like, coming to the execute phase, it doesn't feel very well called or very well thought out. And I think ultimately, yeah, it might work a few times against a team like Hasib Warriors, which are a little bit more inexperienced, but I think the moment that Direwolves face an opponent that's a bit more disciplined, they'll probably struggle with that lack of structure and the lack of, you know, having a well thought out late game.
Yeah, look, credit to Hasib's Warriors, right? Like, it takes a good individual play to take advantage of a situation like that. But yeah, you can't deny the Direwolves have left the door ajar. It's Hasib who are going up and smashing it back open, but that door does have to be left ajar. And I think tightening up those man advantage situations and the late round calling, I think it's probably a calling issue, would be my guess. Like, obviously we don't have comms, and I also don't speak Chinese, which I believe is what Direwolves are coming in. But yeah, like in the late rounds, you really just need someone to say, okay, you're gonna plant here, I'm gonna cover from here, and it just has to be like quick, succinct, and all in sync. And I think that's what's lacking.
Right, yeah, I would agree with that. Do you actually know who the IGL is of this team now?
I don't.
Because I don't know
Honestly.
anymore. Like,
I would have to ask.
Yeah.
I have a feeling a Souffle would be my guess.
I
know it's-
yeah, I think that's a fair guess as well.
It used to be Souffle was, you know, big entry player on the team. But yeah, I haven't really followed who's been active, because obviously it was ED way back in the day, and then Harambe I think
Yes.
took the mantle when he filled in as sub. Yeah, I'd have to guess that Souffle is kind of the biggest leadership figure on this team.
I think that you may have found the root cause of the problem, to be honest. I feel like I'm not going to lie. Like, yeah, no, I don't know this team
They
super
don't
well
have
anymore.
one.
But maybe the leadership isn't as well developed as we would hope for this team. And yeah, especially when you have this 5, it's quite difficult to pick out a leader, and that can sometimes be a red flag, especially when you need to coordinate something in a very short amount of time that can't be pre-planned, such as executing. So yeah, I don't know, I feel like you've done a pretty good job there in finding the root cause.
Thank you, Mandy.
Yeah.
Very much. Yeah, interesting thing about like the history of Direwolves, like what a team these guys were. Like, they were the best team in not just Asia but APAC South, right? And probably the best team in we reckon the best team in APAC at the time. Like, when Damwon Kia, now D+, like dropped off, I think these guys were probably one of the next best. Like, maybe after Elevate struggled a little bit, I think, you know, around the time of the Jönköping Major in 2022, I think these guys probably rose up to the top, and they, if I recall correctly, like they did quite well in Jönköping. They didn't end up making it out of groups, but they had a really good game against FaZe, I believe it was.
Correct.
On
Skyscraper.
Wow, you have a better memory than me.
This region's favorite map.
Apparently, we've seen it, what, twice today? Yeah, so I don't know what to say about like the history of this team. Where they were, amazing, and where they went after, you know, there was the whole drama with ED being dropped and then Reaps leaving. They never really recovered from that, and it's been a slow downward spiral. We hoped maybe there was a shining light yesterday when we saw Joe Gore farm yesterday, and obviously, who did we have on the interview yesterday? I think it was Seal.
Sapper. Oh no, not Sapper. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I think it was
sorry.
Seal, right?
You're right, it was Seal. I was thinking S in my head, and I just instantly went to Sapper for some reason. Yeah,
We did have
Seal.
Sapper yesterday, but for a different team. Yeah, no, I think it was Seal, and Seal said that Joe Gore just came like from rank, like straight out of ranked star, 18-year-old, you know, fresh up, which is great, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna have good leadership.
I've just realised I've been talking to no one for a couple seconds. Unless, yeah, absolutely. I think, yeah, there was an iteration of Direwolves a little while ago where it felt like no matter what roster change they made, they were like good for like a year. Back when like Harambe was kind of in and out the roster, like playing it, but now it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think the other person that I'm really sad to see go out of this roster is Jackie Wu, man. He's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Like, damn, that guy was like the most charismatic person in this region. Every event he would be there, he'd be like encouraging the team, being like, come on guys, we're still in it and stuff. And now he's gone. So I don't know. I think a lot of the key players on Direwolves that were either leadership figures or had really good team dynamic are like kind of gone. That, or maybe we just need to get to know these players a bit better. One of them.
Well, I think a bit of both, right? Like, obviously, we are super nostalgic, and that's just the nature of being around in the scene for such a long time. Like, I was so attached to that old Direwolves roster, so attached to ED in particular for being such a homie. Now, he is still around on Daystar as a coach, but, you know, ED left, you know, Reaps left. Obviously, he's doing great things now on Bleed. You know, Harambe left, Jackie Wu left. It's pretty devastating when you see all these great players phase out for various reasons, whether it's performance or time to get in some new blood, or whether it's stuff happening in live. And I guess you just have to flip it on its head and say it's an opportunity to showcase young talent. And I want to point out players like Seal and players like Joe Gore. They've already been stepping up massively. Now we're going to go to a quick break, and afterwards we'll get back into this game.
If anyone can guess this right,
That's T2 in...
it's a wall.
No, that is Oregon. That's Oregon.
It looks a
That's
bit like
backstairs.
T1. I don't think it's T2.
That's definitely backstairs though, right?
All right.
If I get this right, I'm telling you
Because
right now.
could also
right.
be laundry stairs. I think it could be laundry stairs.
That's a good guess.
3, 2, 1, flip him.
Yeah,
very
thank
nice.
you guys for hard carrying the team.
Love the way we're all like, oh, geez, he came up with a good. But I was like, instantly, it's Oregon.
Oregon, mate. That was never the question.
Yes, it was. He was like, geez, what map's that?
Well, that's Jake.
Jake doesn't know what day it is.
really?
Why did I agree to do this again?
Ooh.
Villa?
Sorry,
I'm definitely getting Villa
it's not.
vibes,
No,
but
it's not
also
a-
cafe. See,
Has
I
to be
reckon that
cafe.
carpet's red. I
Yeah, it
reckon
has to
that's
be
like.
cafe.
I'm gonna just
Mickey?
lock it in. I don't even know.
Has to be.
I'm
I'm
gonna
actually.
change it. I'm gonna change it.
Yeah.
If I had this right the first time, I'm gonna cry.
You ready? 3,
2, 1. Cafe reading.
Yeah. That looks like border. Like the back of it looks like workshop.
I think it's on a rubbish bin.
Yeah.
So a little rubbish bin.
Rubbish. I'm looking.
Oh, do you know what it
I
means?
feel like it's Harry
There's
Potter.
computers in the top right.
I
Is it-
feel like this is workshop.
Custom,
Oh, not workshop.
Customs
Where's
or Harry
the?
Potter?
Where's next to workshop?
I don't know. You tell me, big boy.
Shut up, you.
Vents.
Bobby.
Oh!
Wow.
Would
Damn.
never have got that.
No one did
That-
toast,
wow,
right?
Nah. Alright. Maybe I threw everyone when I said border instantly. That's border. That's border bathrooms.
Is there a bathroom in cafe at all?
I think I've got this wrong.
Ah! Water bathroom?
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Oh!
Wormhole.
Jeez, what is that?
What is that light? Like, is that a fire or is that?
No.
I'm
that's
ready, let's go.
That's a light
Shut
bar.
up.
What's your guess, James? Is it good?
No? Steam?
About as good as mine.
Yeah.
I said
Theme Park Armory.
Oh, the furnace!
I've been prone in that corner too many times.
Is it classroom?
That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, it's like mattress up against a wall.
It's Oregon. Oregon.
You can do it.
Punk.
I very often pre-play streams here, so I should
Oh,
be on the
really?
right track.
Turn.
Is it blue bunker?
Yes! I pre-plays here all the time! Yeah!
Damn it, yeah. When you said I pre-placed, I was
did
like
like that.
dining, because that's where
is it false scent, mate? False scent.
this one, I'm not sure
This
what
one
it
looks
is.
easy, but I actually am a bit confused.
I reckon it looks a lot like Oregon to me. Don't you think it's kind of like Big Tower of Oregon? Bank lockers? Yes,
it was
I knew
paper
you
clips.
would get it. I knew you would get it.
I was legit confused.
Do we really need me and Rob on this show?
This one's pretty easy.
This one's pretty easy.
I mean, the map is easy. I actually don't know where.
One.
How wrong am I?
Is it?
Oh, it is off. I got one.
I did break room. No way. Is that your first one?
One that everyone else got wrong.
Well, it's Oregon.
Yeah, but where?
Oh, that looks like classroom.
3, 2, 1. I'm so right. It's not even funny. I'm so confident. I'm so confident!
I did finish writing before you revealed it.
I got Oregon. I got one.
That was Drone to the Unknown. Thank you for watching. We hope that you enjoyed it. But we do have more countdown to come. Let's hope it doesn't
Rob.
Hope everyone enjoyed the content that we brought to you here today.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
That was Drone to the Unknown. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the content.
We got there.
Talent Drama, take 1.
All right, this is a really tough call. I'm actually not quite sure about this one. I'm gonna have to think for a really long time. I know my answer.
Wow, so shocked.
Oi! Oh, what's that? I feel dogged by
Dev
this.
cop a stray.
Yeah, Dev definitely
How?
got this straight.
Actually, to be fair, I'll be on in 5 minutes, and
Yeah.
you'll be on in like
Oh,
5.
actually, no, that's true. That is true. I am.
First frag.
I don't know. I've seen this guy farm a little bit. I went Rob.
What?
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big dog! Big dog!
Come on. Yeah, thank you.
Why did he listen? I'm on drones.
I figured you'd be just spawn peeking or
I'm
something.
on drones.
He doesn't know how to get. So what happens is there's someone drones someone into the building, and the other player is an entry.
It was
right?
who
That's
gets the first pick, not who gets picked
Not
first.
who watches it on a drone.
Yeah.
Well, this might be a controversial take. I don't know. Only if I'm on drones can this person pull this off.
Wow, absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go.
I really have just continued to just
You haven't played enough with
The
this,
thing is,
mate.
Rob doesn't want to work together with anyone.
No, I just want to run in and find as many heads as I can. We play it like another game that I shan't say.
This is a tough one.
I mean, it's not like you can't really kill yourself with nades anymore.
You can. I've seen it.
Well, you might if I haven't. I just picked the worst person.
It's the,
That's
it's
what
the
I've
most
done as well.
obvious. It's the most
what I've
obvious.
He already knows.
It's the most
He already
obvious.
knows.
This turn.
Yep. Is that a first 5 out of 5?
Yeah, that's the 5 out of 5. Well done,
mate.
brother.
Should be proud of yourself.
Oh, this one's.
This is actually tough.
I know who I'm going with.
Okay, I have a story for this one.
Come on, Amanda.
Oh, she got a story.
Oh!
Wait, what?
Wait,
I
who did
have
you
had
say?
to call both of you to get on an Asia show before.
Oh,
That is true.
That is.
I remember that.
And then I called both of them over and over and over.
Laura woke
And
me up
so-
and was like,
yes.
why is Mandy calling you over? And I was like, I don't know why. And then
Welcome back, everybody, to Direwolves versus Hasib's Warriors here. Play day 2 of the Asia League for Blast R6. If you're just joining us, where you been all night? We've had some bangers, and perhaps this one could be the same. We kicked off the night with 2 absolute classic matches with what is likely to be the top 4 teams in the region going head-to-head, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And now we're potentially fighting for those outside-inside playoff spots, Mandy, right? Like the top 6 out of this 8-team league go to playoffs. Now, obviously, top 2 get a free win in those playoffs, so that's really where you want to be. But you'd rather make the playoffs in a low seed than not make them at all. And I think, you know, I would almost put money on the fact that one of these 2 teams will not make it to the playoffs. Which one is it going to be? You guys are going to have to stick around and find out, aren't you?
I feel like that is a very fair place to put your money, to be honest. Especially with the way that Direwolves have gone so far. They haven't looked super promising yesterday, and especially in this showing against the Sea Warriors, who have been pretty on the ball at the moment. It's not looking too good, and I feel like that is fair enough. These 2 teams could certainly be the ones eliminated out of the top 6 if they don't show up soon. Hasib looking to take fight onto Joe, who's been extremely sharp for the past 2 days. We'll take him down on the Zokobi.
And it is Hasib, who are more likely to be that team on the outside looking into the playoff spots, simply due to the fact of their experience lacking a little bit in the Asia region, with Southeast Asia, of course, coming from the South Asian region. Veterans of that scene, but historically a region that has struggled to hang with the Southeast Asian counterparts. Even though Direwolves does have quite a few rookies on it, those rookies are stepping up, like Joe Gore, as you said, already found the opening pick, had a massive 16-kill game yesterday. Actually one of the vets to go down though. Pika taken out quite early by Taha, and that's the hard breach to boot. Now there is extra hard breach redundancy on the Thermite, but as we are looking at a basement defense, I mean, this is not really ideal. You know, you want the double hard breach available. Only one exothermic charge left as Felox almost loses his head to quite an aggressive Goyo player. Where is the move now for Direwolves? They've had quite a bit of aggro, and I mean, yeah, Hasib's Warriors want to keep taking the fight to them. I mean, I have a lot of respect for someone like Taha going for an aggressive play. Like, he was trying to make plays based on the info from the Valk and the Echo, but you got to know when to pick your battles, right? And when you're in a numbers advantage or a numbers equality, that's likely not when you want to be making plays. You need to be waiting. Now, Zedux has been droned, and he's just wondering whether he has or hasn't. And he is absolutely destroyed there. Souffle through the vert. There was also a player outside the breach ready to pick him out. And now 20 seconds left. 2 players up for Hasib's Warriors on this defense. Now, the win condition is denying this plant. How is that going to be possible? Dini gets out his util, gets out the Yokai drone, and does deny the plant for just a brief moment. However, it might not be possible. Doctor does swing and deny, but the trades come through quickly for Direwolves, and they do lock in a second round, tying up the score.
Yeah, not a bad round there for Direwolves. Solid roam clear, I think, throughout the early game. Joe has just been on the ball, honestly, with that Dokkaebi. Like, if I'm watching this game right now, I've seen Joe go crazy on the entry on that operator 2 days in a row. You're definitely having to think, okay, maybe it's time to start banning out the Dokkaebi, right? Anyway.
Yeah. Dokkaebi is insane. Like, in this league, it's funny we're seeing so much Brava ban, because I honestly reckon you chuck some Dokkaebi bans in this region. Like, these guys love it way too much. Throw a spanner in the works.
That's why what I'm saying.
Well, this is why I respect Bleed, right? Like, Bleed banned Deimos against Fury. That is baller. Like, who bans Deimos? Nobody in ranked, I'll tell you that much. You can't ban Deimos in ranked. It's like they're sick of that little grayed out button over Deimos in ranked, and they're like, nah, we're in comp now, let's give it a shot. And I love that. Like, you identify an opposition as particularly good with an operator, get it out of here.
Yeah, absolutely, I think. Yeah, unfortunately, keeping that Dokkaebi in does mean that Joe has got his comfort pick on the entry, and we saw him do it on Chalet, this exact map, this time yesterday, and it was pretty dangerous. So yeah, Hasib Warriors struggling a little bit in the early game, and then eventually not being able to stay safe on the bomb site as they managed to go for the plant there. 2-2 is the scoreline now between these two teams. That's a lot of twos.
Yeah,
I think I'm losing my mind. I was going to say that's a lot of twos, and it's 2, but it's actually 3. So... damn.
It's 2 o'clock somewhere in the world.
It is 2 o'clock somewhere in the world.
Where is it 2 o'clock right now? I guess...
It's 2 o'clock somewhere else in Australia, no? No, it's not.
Is there any 1 hour time difference? Wait, no. Yeah, in Queensland.
Oh,
because Queensland is
right.
on...
Yes, you're right.
Queensland's on standard time, whereas we're on daylight time down in Alps. So, there you go. It is 2 in Queensland.
It's 2-2 at 2 AM if you're in Queensland. Exciting news. Anyway, here we go. Another defense attempt for Hasib Warriors. They went down to the basement last time. They lost it, and they're not happy to go back again. So, we're going to go over to kitchen and dining instead. Last time this bomb site played out, Hasib was left all by himself, all lonely, on the bomb site in a 1 versus 3 with the Elder in hand, and he didn't win it out. That was the one that Direwolves landed on the board. Hope they can do it again.
I think Direwolves just need to lock in here. They've taken their tactical timeout. They lost 2 rounds to 1v2 clutches. And had they converted those solid advantages, this would be a 4-0 start in their favor. we would be talking about a very different story. So Hasib are lucky that they can say, oh, we've just banked those 2 clutches. If they can find a 3rd round, I'd say that's a pretty solid first half, you know, considering defense can be a bit of a struggle on this map. But, of course, it's not everything. They are going to have to deliver on attack as well. And Direwolves, now that they are firing up, are a team to be trifled with.
Direwolves looking for a solo-sided attack to clear up the top floor. To start things off, Taha is on the other side of this fight with Felarx, dueling with the Hibana. I don't know how much I rate these zombie barricades on the windows,
Quite useless.
as opposed to between them, because they can be punched with your bare hands. Now, Felarx has got plenty of info on him. Souffle's out there for the cutoff as well. He's used his last zombie barricade on the bathroom window, and meanwhile, Pika has managed to find another pick off the double window. Well, down but not out just yet.
I think Zedox is going to be able to revive him as well there, but the timing could be a bit awkward here for Doctor. Is he off his feet yet? No, he's still crawling on the ground. I'm not sure if Zedox was able to come and support, and there he is. Zedox has come in, taken down Pika, picked up his teammate, thanks to as well some support from Din down below, but Joe! It's always Joe! And the round may be Jova. 4v2. Hasib's Warriors left floundering. They've got to make some plays. They got to get around it. They got to look for some flanks, and it's Hasib to try and do that himself. But with Joe 6-0 since this rehosts, I don't reckon there's a big shot in it for Hasib's Warriors. This has got to be the flank of his life.
I mean, this could happen. Oh no, they know exactly where he is. Souffle turns around, takes him out. Dinny, now the one, left all alone on the bomb site, but it isn't a 1v3, it's a 1v4. Seal says goodbye, takes him out. Clean round for Direwolves.
Very clean round. The only thing that could have gone wrong was the aggressive play from Zedox, managing to take down, I think it was Pika, and then look for that revive. Thankfully, Joe's there. Joe seems to always be there. He's everywhere. And he's been a shining light for Direwolves on their entry. Love to see a young up-and-coming ranked star, fresh 18-year-old, get around it and start having big plays. I mean, 3 kills back-to-back like that. Obviously, 1 was down, but doesn't discount the impact of that play, because Taha would have been revived in mere moments had Joe not gone for that play. Now, Direwolves up by 1 round, but I'll say this again, Manny, this really could be 5-0. If Hasib hadn't got 2 of those clutches, this would be a 5-0 lead.
It wouldn't be a Direwolves game without a 1vx, Sev. I'm going to say this early
losing
on
a
in the
1vx?
stage. I'm going to, yeah, exactly, without losing a 1vx. I'm going to say this one early on in the stage. No, we are not going to escape this curse. Such is the nature. Anyway, Direwolves though, they looked pretty good there, I thought. That was a very solid attack. Good collapse in on the top floor. Well planned out. Joe got a 3k. That was epic. And now, Hasib Warriors are thinking we still don't want to go and repeat any bomb sites. Do something
Why do
new.
people keep spawn picking with his army? Why with his army? Like, if anybody, why his army? They're like, she's nerfed now, it doesn't matter.
Oh dear. Alas. Some of those Azami barricades are rather challenging to take down, even though the nerf has come through in this position. Which is why Felarx is still sticking on to the Hibana, as I'd imagine. Nevertheless, they still have at least a DMR in the lineup of Joe if he wants to take some of them down quickly.
DMRs cannot be undervalued in this current meta when Azami's in play. We only see a couple of teams play. I reckon, I don't know if this is a bold statement, I feel like the best teams are the ones that play a few DMRs. Like, every now and then you see like a Dokkaebi DMR that's kind of just there because Dokkaebi has got a DMR, and so you may as well bring it if you want Dokkaebi. But only a couple of teams are like actively choosing to bring like Brava with Camas or Lion with the
I see what you
the
mean.
417. I reckon there's correlation. I reckon
what
the
you
best
mean.
teams are the
Yeah.
ones that are bringing those DMRs.
Not everyone is doing it with intention. I definitely
Yeah.
agree with that. I certainly agree with that. I don't know if this is one of them or not, to be honest. Seal, down from below, in the basement, has managed to find Taha, who has been a bit of a lurker these days. He's about to find another, potentially onto Doctor, who goes for the repeat, successful. Headshot onto him. Meanwhile, Zedox, though, has been taken down and finished off by Pika. But here goes Felarx straight into the
Oh,
bomb
what?
site.
Man, what was that timing there? Hasib gets the better of him. Thankfully, Joe is still alive, and he does bring back the numbers for Direwolves. And things are pretty awkward now as both of these defenders are essentially locked into sight. However, The diffuser is locked in there with them, and that does restrict Direwolves' options here.
Oh my god, I kind of forgot that Grim had the bailiff. Sorry. Wow, just a small revelation. Little bits of vertical pressure will come out because Grim has got the secret gun. And that means Hasib might not be safe behind the bar for all that long. In fact, it's Dinny to go down instead to Souffle. No idea from where. I'd assume that from the vertical himself. Hasib now looking to try and take an engagement early. 1 versus 3. Needs to look for a fight. He can't do it. Joe will take him out. And Direwolves picking up another pretty clean attack round.
Very clean. And can I just say, Joe is such a bloody gamer. Like, what is he on now? 8, 9 kills, no deaths since this rehost? He is just farming. I love seeing him run amok with that SMG-12. The SMG-12 is a hard gun to use. Like, yeah, it's got a really high fire rate and a fast, like, damage, but yeah, the recoil is really something, and it takes a lot of mechanical skill to muster up the courage to grab that gun and use it as your primary entry. But Joe Gore's just a Chad like that.
Bro is a Dokkaebi merchant. What can you say?
Well,
He's good at it.
we've gotten rid of the 1.5x merchants now, thankfully. Now everyone's going to become a Dokkaebi SMG-12 merchant, and then they're going to nerf it again.
Such is the cycle of life, no?
Yeah, very true,
Yeah.
very true.
It's like
Well,
everyone suddenly got too fast with their mechanics, right? Like everyone like figured out how to do the super fast jiggle peeking and stuff like that, and then the
they
game
slowed it all down.
decided to become slower.
Yeah,
You
I'm
gotta slow these players down, man. They're too fast.
Yeah, I think what we should do is just like, if you're too good at the game, we just like chuck 2 10-kilo dumbbells and like attach them to your operator, and you got to go and use them, run around with them. Don't tell me this is the spawn peak that works. Like, no, okay, no one's gonna peek it. But like,
Hell
at
no.
least Joe is using like a good gun to spawn peek with. Like he's oh no, the timing.
That's
He's gonna
unreal. Oh, he's
repeat
gonna
that.
repeat it.
Oh, Chad.
Go for it. I mean, he's 8-0, mate. I mean, that's after the rehost. I don't know what he is now. What was he before the rehost?
What was it? It was 2-1 at the rehost, right? And so I don't know. It was probably
He's
he would have
10
died twice.
And 1, 10 and 10 and 2. So it's
Possible,
2.
very possible.
He's got a lot of kills. He's allowed to go for
He's-
spawn peaks. That's
He's
okay.
a gamer. Gamer.
Right, here we go. So Joe's thought the better of it and has decided to pull off slightly back towards the bomb site, thinking that something might be amok on the other side of the map because his side of the map has been a bit quiet, and such is life. Solar is in fact being taken. A couple players out on the rappel, double window open as well, and I believe someone entering in through the basement, so certainly got the right read on what's going on.
Yeah, I haven't quite figured out the push yet from Hasib's Warriors, though. I think it seems to be a bit of a vertical push, like trying to put some pressure down below. But there is a player here repelling on the double window. Like, it's a classic position outside trophy from Tar. Yeah, so they're trying to pinch out all these players downstairs, but there's no pressure from lobby as of yet. Zdux is trying to make his way up West Main, and it looks like he's done so. And so they can start putting the hunt in here on Felarx, and it does happen to be a bit of an exchange, and Zdux comes in from behind. Seal's gone down as well. Now, my question is, what does Souffle do? Does he commit? Nah, he's going to fall back.
What is going on here? Oh my goodness, Pika's gone for a meander on the outside of the building and has not been able to kill the person on the rappel. They go for the fast rappel all the way back down to the ground. And in the midst of all of that, somehow, Hasib Warriors have found yet another pick, leaving just Pika all on his own on the bomb site.
Does have some support from Souffle downstairs. Ooh, rough there for a moment. This could be everything though. Souffle coming on up. It's a 1 versus 4. He's got the info. The plant's down. Denied, rather. He can play below as Soulless. If this player near the hatch exposes, he could find the head. No, Zdux bests him, and Hasib's Warriors find their first attacking round and start to go towards evening up this scoreline. It's been quite a drought for Hasib's Warriors, but they get their first round since the rehost.
Yeah, solid attack there, managing to stave off the threat of all the spawn peaks early on, find their way in through the solar side of the map, which was completely uncontested by Direwolves because they were so spread thin on the other side of the map all the way in Library, and then from there convert the round with some solid entries.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
You concur? Yes, indeed.
Verily so.
I actually don't think I can think of a sentence. Sorry. It's just,
That was a sentence, so you thought of it. You did good.
I tried really hard to say something smart there off the back of that, and I just
You were like trying to think of like
completely
some
blanked
kind
out.
of retort.
Yeah.
You wanted to continue the
Yeah.
bit. You wanted to be
I was
like,
trying so hard to like thinking like something Shakespearean there for a moment. I was like, oh yes, I can say
I was
something fancy, and then
I was thinking
nothing
like
happened.
Sherlock Holmes vibes. You know, like.
I guess see, that makes more sense. That's a bit more modern than what I was going for.
I can't do Shakespeare. Thou art cannot do thy Shakespeare.
That's not bad. I can barely do English in itself. It's pretty good from you.
Oh, look.
God.
Coffee does wonders.
Coffee does do good. Did you like my my offie picture that I sent you? Anyway,
I
don't
do.
worry.
I do love.
Yeah.
I do love all the memes you send me. Guys, Mandy sends the best
Excellent.
memes. The best cute memes.
Quality tier cat memes. This is
Hey,
Bitchy Heat from
what?
Direwolves, by the way.
Boss G?
Boss
Okay,
G from
mate.
Joe. Souffle is prone in the corner of Solar. There is surely someone repels in here. I really secretly want this to work. I don't think it is.
It's got to work. Like, surely
Oh,
they go to
right.
Clint.
Oh yeah, it's gonna work. I'm so excited
Is
for
the
this.
drone. All right, let's see. Where's the drone going? We're watching the POV of the drone. It doesn't check! It didn't check! Get destroyed, mate. Oh, that is a missed drone for the ages. So well played from Souffle. Absolutely debated. And Hasib's Warriors are playing with a player down.
Oh yes, get in the bathtub. It's gonna work twice.
Oh,
no,
he's
it's
got a boss
definitely
G
not.
kill!
Oh, no way, he's just got a boss G kill as well. Oh no, it's not the bathtub. That's so disappointing. Oh man, this has been one chaotic round. One chaotic way to start the round at the very least. How will it end? I'm hoping in the same fashion.
I want to see more rap plays here from Direwolves. That is extremely cheeky. I mean, you can see Hasib's Warriors here have some ideas. Like, they got the util to try and counter the mic magnets. They've got some Capital to try and flush out the player in this dark corner, but they're playing in a 3v5. Taha solo roam clearing as Ace with Diffuser with... Okay, drone slightly ahead of him, but yeah, this ain't working. Joe's going to peek this and absolutely
Do it.
destroy him. Mark my words. Joe, he's yours. Get him with the boss G again. Oh, that is insult
again,
added
go
to
again.
injuries. Souffle jumped out. It's all up to Din now. He finds his consolation frag, but that's all he will find. Direwolves might have had a bit of a blip last round, but they are looking to dominate once again. 2 rounds away from putting this to bed.
Oh man, that was a nasty round there from Direwolves. First of all, the rat pick to start things off, and then you get taken out by a double boss G kill. That's not cool if you're on the side of Hasib Warriors. And honestly, fair enough, they're thinking, something has gone very wrong, and we're going to take a tactical timeout. I think good opportunity to do so. Things are certainly falling apart on their end.
I would love to know how many kills Joe Gore had before the rehost, because he's had 11 since, and yesterday he got 16. I reckon he could be on the cards to actually do better than what he did yesterday.
That would be quite impressive.
I'm gonna
Yesterday he did
go
very well.
on the numbers. I'm gonna see if I can like bring up the Twitch stream. Go back in time.
Man,
Back.
this guy really is just an SMG-12. Sorry, continue.
No, he is an SMG-12 merchant.
SMG-12 merchant.
But he can also make things work with the boss G, and I gotta respect that.
Yeah. Oh man, chaotic game. It's been good.
Don't mind
Have you
me,
gone
I'm just
back?
going back in time. It takes time to do these
Okay,
things.
okay. I
working
understand.
on it.
Greatness takes time. Greatness takes effort.
It does. It does.
All good things do not come easily.
What do they say in... I'm guessing you've seen Toy Story, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay. So, I can't remember if it's Toy Story 1 or Toy Story 2, but there's the scene where the old dude, like, repaints Woody and, like fixes him up and, like, repairs his shoes. You know that scene?
Yeah.
And he says, like, you can't rush art, or something like that, when the guy's like, how long is this going to take?
Yeah.
So that's the vibe right now. Like, you can't rush
That is
art.
the
It's
vibe.
going to take me a bit of time to find how many kills Joe Gore had before the rehost. But imagine the value it's going to add to the broadcast once I find that.
Oh, tremendous value. Like you've never seen before, really. You could be everything. The casting, the production, the statistics, man. It's everything, honestly.
I don't know about production, mate. I'll leave that to the professionals.
Alright, here we go. Direwolves, having won their last bomb site fairly handily, are going to go down to the basement instead. to potentially put us on match point. Pika's going to start out early here inside a library, right in the corner. Meanwhile, though, it doesn't seem like Hasib Warriors are at all interested in the roam clearers. They're directly trying to hit all the way down into the basement first off, opening up big garage with the back of the buck. Souffle as well is going to back up his teammate in Pika over here on the top floor. And never mind, I bite my own words, as it seems like 2 players posturing up for this clear onto Pika.
And you know who I'm watching. It's Joe Gore on the other side of the map. That's all I care about right now. I'm joking. We should probably... Oh, here we go. Thank you, observers. Thank you. He's doing nothing right now, but keep him in the back of your mind. I checked. He had 3 kills before the rehearse, so he's on 14 right now. 2 more, and he has broken the record that he hit yesterday. And I believe that's also the tied record for how many kills has been in a single game so far in the Asia League, if I'm not wrong. No one has done better than that, but nonetheless, for now, as you said, Hasib's Warriors trying to clear library, but it's been slow.
All right, here goes Taha. All the way over inside piano room, trying to jiggle the fight onto the player on Ivy stairs. There's also a crossfire from Mezzanine, so he's feeling a little cautious about that one. Meanwhile, Doctor is going to send out some of the bees to try and get some info onto the player on Mezzanine. They do sync, in fact, and it does force him to fall off into library. Souffle taking a bit of damage from Din, but able to fall off safely.
Oh, there we go. Finally, the opening pick comes out, and Felix has found Hasib. Now, as you can see, Direwolves have really just stripped it back a little bit. Oh, does Taha know? He's not acting like he knows. Pika's right around here in the corner in library, and Taha's distracted. There we go. Finally, an opening pick for Hasib's Warriors, but that does cue Pika to make a move.
Oh,
he saw the diffuser. He saw the diffuser, but I think he's made too much noise, and they know about him now. Oh, what a shot! Xenox is out. Pika looking for another. No way. He's completely picked Hasib's Warriors apart. Oh, man. Oh, man. Hasib Warriors need a doctor now, and there is one to step up. In a 1v3, it's not going to be great. The bomb site's downstairs. He might not have the diffuser yet either. 30 seconds to go, and he's just looking for ghosts. There's nobody here. There's no time either. What is going on?
Well, Direwolves are feeling pretty happy about that one. Pika with massive value on the roam, taking down 2 and leaving the diffuser all the way on another continent. Doctor is going to round the corner, but it's Felix to finish him off, and Direwolves will put us on match point.
Yeah, well, that was another such challenging roam clear there from Hasib's Warriors, and I think Direwolves have figured out that if they just really look to emphasize their roam game, it's so hard for Hasib to overcome that. And you know, this really could be an 8-1 right now. I think there was only been one convincing round from Hasib's Warriors, 2 clutches, so Direwolves have definitely been a better team through and through. Hasib have had their moments, but it's a shame to see them go down in such a fashion.
Direwolves have found their winning formula, and that is to face them when they're trying to enter into the building and then shoot them the moment that they take a step into the building, which seems to be working out pretty well for them. Joe, to great success, has been on the roam game. Not only that, but we've even just seen pretty strong showing from Pika on his own. I don't see that stopping anytime soon as he's jumped straight back onto the Vigil. Boss G in hands, SMG-12, of course. It's looking pretty dangerous, Dev.
5 seconds to insertion.
It's so hard to prescribe something for Hasib's Warriors right now as well. I don't know what you can say, like, just the roam game has been so powerful from Direwolves. Like, those players continue to have a laugh, like Joe Gore, for example. He's got the Boss G and the SMG-12 again. You just don't want to be playing against that. If you're Hasib's Warriors, like, he's just going to be swinging everything. They're going to be ratting a bunch. They're going to be playing off each other. Like, credit to Direwolves, it's not just like running amok like crazy. They are playing cleverly. And I think Hasib's Warriors have been pretty intimidated by it.
Okay, here goes another attack attempt for Hasib Warriors. Hasib himself has seen this big long line of sight inside of office and is going to play it fairly cautiously outside of the fluke double window. Meanwhile, the clear is coming in through from library. Some of the pings go out into the play inside of Mezzanine off the back of the lion scan, and Xenox can make his way up from the basement.
Here we go. First player spotted.
Oh, there's a guy in there.
They've
There's a
got
guy
the
in
info.
storage.
They've got the info. Oh, Z-Ducks,
Oh,
man.
Z-Ducks, mate.
Surely someone's able to support now. Joe has found his kill. Joe's found. Okay, it's over. It's Jova! It is over again! He's hit his 16 kills, but that's all he's going to get.
Joe
He's
down,
taken
Joe down.
Joe down, the round's winnable, guys. That's the call in the Hasib's Warriors comms. Souffle is left on an island on the other side of the map, but he's never been droned. Like, no one knows he's here. He has freedom to get back to site. Hasib is now starting to put some pressure onto the bomb site, and Taha's going to open up the main breach. But 2v3, like, there's no viable way you can make this plant work unless if Dire was put foot wrong.
Yeah, especially with Felarx still inside of Piano as well. The way that this office wall has been configured is a little dangerous at this point for Taha to walk his way on in and try and play the plant. Hasib looking to cover himself, but with just a minute left to go, Direwolves are playing the disciplined game right now. Souffle looking for the peek out onto the office door, not able to find the shots just yet, but certainly the onslaught to come.
All right, Taha. You're going to have to fake this, but you're going to need to rely on Hasib as well. Like, this is 100% on Hasib. He needed to land that shot. He definitely needed to land that one, and nothing goes well at all for Hasib's Warriors. It's all gone awry, and Direwolves have stolen the match. What very well could have been a 7-1 ends up a 7-3 as the GGs are called, and Joe cops in another 16-kill game.
Joe's definitely become an emote after doing the back of that. It's like the Harambe dance for Direwolves. Yeah, excellent game there from Direwolves and a pretty stellar one from Joe himself. Great performance off the back of yesterday's as well. He's Mr. Consistent when it comes to that.
Yeah, I think we have a new sheriff in town, Joe Gore. He's made a real name for himself. Every now and then you have a player go big with a 15, 20 kill game, but Joe has done it twice in a row, 16 kills in back-to-back matches. Bravo.
Gotta do it big.
Good, sir. You got to do it big. It's the only way I can live. And I know 3 people that live the same way over on the desk.
If you're not wrong about that one, mate, I do it very big, sometimes too big, unfortunately. It's, Gaz, I'm talking about my eating habits, okay? I'm not talking about any other aspect of my life. It's okay. Look, again, I just to reiterate that statement, I don't think I've seen a player go this nuclear in their opening 2 matches ever, Guz. That is absolutely insane to see. Back-to-back games, I think, was it 19 kills yesterday? I could be wrong there, but 16 today. It's just absolutely absurd.
Yeah, 16 as Dev shatters my eardrums.
Yeah, that one hurt.
Yeah, so really good from him. And I'm actually sitting here refreshing the map stats. I'm still waiting for them to roll through, but there's every world in which he pushed very close to a 200 EPS in that game, which is absolutely insane. It's sitting at 187 with Direwolves up 5-3. So assuming once that rolls through, it's not going to be too far off. So yeah, another big game from him. Ultimately, an expected result, I think. Direwolves doing a good job to get it across the line. I will say, though, going back to my earlier prediction, perhaps a little bit more one-sided than I would have anticipated. Unfortunately, on defense, Hasib Warriors just couldn't quite string together enough rounds. Even being Chalet, probably still 2 not going to cut it, and ultimately not the case.
Xenox, I guess is there a light for Hasib in this conversation? Are we pleased with their performance, or are you maybe in the negative camp here?
Oh, no, I don't think you can be too negative. I think coming into this particular league, it was always going to be difficult for Hasib Warriors knock to probably put themselves in positions where they're going to be challenging to go to the major. It's all about, I guess, the experience building throughout this particular stage, and then hope that going into the next stage, they can then maybe go for a bit of a run. But, they had a good start to this game and then clearly just petered out, which I guess is somewhat similar to yesterday, right? So there's clearly a bit of deja vu when it does come to that, as Dev is breathing in my ear constantly. Please, James. And so obviously for the Direwolves, they did get the job done. Sorry,
I kind of liked it. I thought it was
nearing
hot.
on 4 a.m. here, but either way, yeah, large similarities to yesterday, Rob, I think is probably my takeaway more than anything. I'm not negative on Hasib Warriors, but I would be concerned in terms of now when we think of top 6, top 8, avoiding bottom 2, they're firmly in that conversation now for bottom 2, unfortunately.
I mean, look, I could probably sit here and poke and probe a little bit, guys, as to the Direwolves camp. It does seem like there is a player or two that tends to stand up at a moment of need for their roster. I feel like today, maybe not so much. Definitely yesterday, there were a number of moments that dragged them across the line, kicking and screaming in late rounds. But all in all, like this is just a good start for Direwolves, but good signs nonetheless.
Yeah, good. I feel like that's probably the
Yeah.
best descriptor for their performance so far. Whereas other teams, we're probably saying are outperforming their expectations. I would say Direwolves are pretty much on par with what we expected heading into this stage, which was a competitive team. Certainly one that will take down those from South Asia, perhaps some of the other rosters as well, and maybe breaching into the top 4, top 5 discussion. Anything beyond that, it's difficult to see them in that now. However, again, they will continue to improve if they get the systems working around Joe and they're, he's able to be consistent, not just across the first week, but over the first couple of weeks and can be that star player. Perhaps they can cook something up that will be good enough to take down the stronger teams here in Asia.
Well, I mean, they're going to have to be really the best in their next game. Xenox just keeping it Direwolves related. They go up against Bleed in week 3. Well, sorry, day 3, I should say, week 2. That one is going to be the real testament, I think.
Yeah, it certainly will be. I think it's pretty clear through the first week now that we're kind of concluding night 1 and night 2 here. You look at Elevate, Bleed, Direwolves, Jalita, and Fury. That's a pretty extensive list. But when they all start to play each other, those are going to be pretty big games across the board. So, Direwolves versus Bleed. They also then play Fury the day after that. So you kind of look at their next two opponents. And I think by the end of next week, we'll have a bit of a clearer read when it does come to Direwolves. So, and I think that's more than just Direwolves. That's also your Furies, your Jalitas. Once they all start playing each other, that's going to be a real big tester, which unfortunately puts us in a position at the end of the first week. There's only 2 teams that have collected 0 points, and they're both from South Asia. So it's a really difficult prospect for them to think, where are you going to pick up points? Because I listed a pretty extensive number of teams. In fact, the only team I didn't basically list was Daystar, and they've actually looked pretty good. And clearly I think have probably shown they're already above those, at least from South Asia, which means that getting into that top 6 is going to be really difficult for Hasib Warriors and Knock Knock. Where are they going to get those wins? I don't know.
Against Fury, apparently. That's the only place they're going to find.
And they do actually play each other, by the way, next week. So that'll settle probably bottom 2. The loser of that game is basically out.
Yeah. Well, given the fact that Daystar has already beaten Knock Knock today, then, those points are dramatically falling by the wayside. But I get really excited for a moment here because we've got our interview, but it's my man, my homie. Let's welcome in Harambe.
Hey. Hello, guys.
It's
been a while. It's been a while.
Harambe, my man. It has been a hot minute. How have you been?
It's been all right. A bit tired. It's a bit late right now.
Yeah, it's pushing the time. Look, I
It's
will
almost
ask
1
you
a.m.
just.
actually.
We won't talk about nearly 4 a.m. We'll just keep it on the 1 a.m. train for you guys playing. I do want to ask you, mate. Obviously, your start to the stage has been, I would say, convincing, but you've still yet to play those big teams. You're still yet to play those big names. How have you felt watching the team from behind the scenes?
Our team has been growing up since last stage a lot. And after the join of Jogo, you can see he's really good gunner. I think we're able to beat them down. Elevate, Fury, and Bleed.
Yeah. Gents?
Yeah, I think obviously you guys got through this week unscathed considering the matchups. You look ahead and we've kind of just been discussing it. You play Bleed, you play Fury. How do you kind of view the Asia League at the moment with a lot of these teams now all vying for basically just one spot? Essentially, you can't make any mistakes, but how much emphasis do you put on these games going into playoffs? Obviously, right now, there is only so much riding on these matches.
C's deserve 2 spot. That's what I'm going to say. But I think we're really well prepared for every team, including the big ones, Fury and Bleed.
Yep.
And we'll just see. Do a play day. You can see what we got.
I'm interested to hear your thoughts, Harambe. Obviously, week 1 now concluded. Who are you guys going to be versing in the grand final? Who do you think the best team in Asia is other than yourself?
I don't know, man. Probably Fury, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
Not bleed?
They are really, really solid, to be honest.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, that's really interesting given the fact they've only got 1 point, Harambe. What's going on there?
Yeah.
No, we won't go down that path. It's best of ones at the start of the stage. There's a much larger conversation. Look, mate, I've got to say, you've matured a lot. Your beard's looking better than Guzz's. Things are looking bright for you. I mean, I wish you were back in the server. But do you have
I changed a
anything that
lot.
you'd like to say to the beautiful fans out there?
Please support us. We're gonna win some games, hopefully next week. Yeah, it's gonna be
Mate,
enjoyable.
We've missed you, but can I for old time's sake? I think you know what I'm about to ask. Can I just for old time's sake, Harambe? Can I get a dance from you as we say goodbye?
Woo! See you guys. Good night. Good night.
Let's go, baby. Good night. Go and enjoy your rest, Harambe.